Hi, this is Justin Lubino with Senior Advisors. And on today's episode of Coffee with Justin, we are excited to have a principal partner at Bleakley Financial, Mr. Reed Finney, joining us. And Reed has quite a background in the financial space. He graduated from Lehigh University in 1985 with a BS in finance. And in 1992, he obtained his CFP and CLU degrees. And also in 1992, he became a principal partner at Bleakley Financial Group. And currently, Bleakley Financial, there's 5 owners, and they manage over $7 billion in assets. They have offices in 10 different states, and they employ 140 people. We're really excited to have Reed join us today. So thank you, Reed, for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. One more thing happened in 1992. I got married.
Oh, great. That's what you said. You're married for 29 years. Exactly. So that was a big year for you.
It was a big year. Yep.
All right. All right.
Just a kid then.
So the way we start out these episodes are kind of some silly coffee related questions, since it is coffee with Justin. First off, there you go. There you got your mug. So what's your kind of go-to coffee brand? You know, whether it's at the office or at home, what's your preferred brand or type of coffee?
Sure. I guess you could say I'm a Starbucks guy. I like dark coffee. Typically have one cup a day.
Okay.
Then I'll move on to water for the rest of the day.
Nice.
And then at 5 o'clock, if I'm looking for something to do, I might get a nice IPA.
Nice.
So those are my liquids during the day.
There you go. Actually, I'm pretty similar. I do the 1 cup in the morning and actually have decaf tea throughout the day or water. Yep. 1 cup of caffeine's enough for me for the day. So.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
So, and you mentioned 1 cup a day, so that hits our other question. And then on the last coffee question, so if you could sit down and have a cup of coffee with anyone, you could choose anyone. I guess who would you choose?
Well, I really have 2 people, if I could. I would choose Jesus.
Okay.
I think that would just be a tremendous conversation.
Good answer. Yeah.
And then on the other extreme, I'd like to sit down and have a conversation with Bill Clinton.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Not that I'm a Democrat. I just would find a day with Bill would be very interesting.
Absolutely. I think any world leader would be interesting to sit down with, and just to, they see things obviously we don't get to see at our level. So very cool. Very cool. All right. Just want to touch a little bit on in your bio you sent, and you just mentioned earlier you've been married 29 years, which is awesome. And you've got, you mentioned 5 children, which is quite a clan. You've got a whole basketball team there, kids. Yeah. Any grandkids?
No grandkids. My oldest is 25 years old now.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And you mentioned, a few of your hobbies. You said play tennis, and I noticed on your bio you play paddle tennis as well. Yeah. If you could share, I know that's really gaining in popularity, and I've got some friends that play it, but I haven't played it yet. If you could share a little bit for the audience, maybe how that paddle tennis works out.
Sure, it's definitely a winter sport. So it's a great way to get out when it's dark and cold, because you play it under the lights. It's played within a screen, so it looks like a tennis court, but it's much smaller. And the ball, you play it like tennis, but you can hit it. The ball can hit off the wires, and you can hit it back. The guys who are really good, the points can go on forever, so you can get a really good workout. And typically when you're playing paddle, they have nice paddle huts. So in the paddle hut, you got a nice HD TV in there to go and warm up. Typically, you might have some beers, and there's music playing. And it's just a great combination of getting good exercise, great socialization, and having a lot of fun. It's really great, especially when it's dark out at 5 o'clock in the winter.
Nice. And so it's mostly outdoors?
All outdoors. Huh. And it's mostly in the winter. Okay. Some guys just love this sport so much that they'll play it year round.
Okay.
But the problem is if you play it in the summertime, the ball gets a little too bouncy, and it's better to play in the winter.
Got it. So you are are you at tennis in the summer, and then as it gets colder, you go to paddle, or you just play tennis year round? Or
I'm playing more tennis year round now because it's just easier on my body.
Okay.
Paddle is a very tough sport on your body, and I just can't play as much as I used to. To me, paddle is more fun, but tennis is better on the body and the joints. So I'll play indoor tennis also in the winter.
Got it. And another thing you mentioned on your bio, you enjoy reading, which is great. Do you have any particular authors you're into lately, or just in general that you'd recommend? Or
no, I mean I'm all over the map on that, and I only read basically nonfiction, and typically it's going to be a motivational type of book or a financial book, and then I'm reading the Wall Street Journal every day. So that takes up a lot of my time.
Sure.
And just articles that come across. And, I'm not a guy who's reading like Sports Illustrated. I'm not up on all those things. I just kind of love the whole financial world. I'm very lucky on that front.
Yeah,
so
those
are the things that I'm doing every day.
That's awesome. I'm a big fan of nonfiction as well. It's I like to fill my brain with positive, good information. So that's good stuff. All right. So just to kind of shift a little gears, maybe into a little bit about Bleakly. There's obviously a lot of financial advisors out there, a lot of firms out there. What do you kind of see as the main differentiator for Bleakley Financial?
Sure. So one of I think the main differentiators is two things in our firm. I've got my team, which consists of 7 people, and we're focused on handling our roughly 300 clients that we have and giving them really great service. And then there's the Bleakly team, the 140 people here. And I think that's what makes this really, really different, because any financial advisor can have their 7 people to help service everybody, but not every financial advisor has the background and the team behind us. Okay. And what I mean by that is, for Bleakly, we have a CIO, a chief investment officer. His name is Peter Bookbar. Extremely intelligent, smart guy. If you watch CNBC, he's on it once a week as a guest commentator. So he's the head of our investment committee. So we have access to him. I call Peter every day and ask him questions, and it's great. So it helps me with my knowledge. We have an estate and trust attorney. So our clients, we can review their wills and their trust form. We have a life coach. Our life coach is available to our clients, to their kids, to their families, to their friends. Is there a cost for that? No. All these things I'm describing are part of our services. What else? We have a CPA. If our clients need a CPA to help them with their taxes, review their taxes, we provide that as well. And then the other thing that we provide, Justin, is okay, a Medicare specialist. And if you're in this financial planning world, you better find somebody like Justin, okay? And I'm not just saying this because we're on this video chat together, but your clients need somebody like that. And it is too complicated for me to know what's going on. And if they miss signing up for Medicare, it's a lifetime penalty for not signing up on time. So bells and whistles go off in our office at age 64 and a half. And we're getting after our clients to talk to the Medicare specialist. So all of these services, if I was on my own, I couldn't provide all these services. I couldn't afford, all these people that I just described. There's no way I could. So in this business, and as time goes on, size matters. It really does. Because we've got 40 financial advisors. We also have a full-time recruiter. We're bringing on more advisors. The more advisors we have, the more we can divvy up the expenses to cover all of these people and to provide these services to our clients. So that's, I think, what differentiates us from a lot of the other advisors. And we're truly independent too. That's the other thing. We don't have a middleman here. There's nobody in between us and what we're doing, taking a piece of the pie. They're not happening.
Yeah, no, that's incredibly comprehensive services that you provide there at Bleakly. And I can vouch. I've sat on a couple of webinars I think that Peter has done and seen him on TV, and just amazing, from an investment advice perspective, and clearly an expert in the field. Plus, I mean, you mentioned a bunch of other services there. I'm curious, you provide, I didn't know you had a CPA as well. So that is an in-house CPA that can provide advice out as well. That's phenomenal.
Correct.
And the other thing I'll add too, just from my experience, as you mentioned, we help you with your clients with their Medicare needs. every single one that calls from Bleakly, they mentioned they're not only their advisor, but their friend, right? So, I'm a friend of Reed's, and, he's my advisor. And, there's a relationship there, I think, that you guys have built with your clientele that I think is different. You mentioned size matters, right? So there's advantages of growing and having those centralized services that you can provide, but you still have that kind of small shop feel and relationship that I think is I think a differentiator and a niche for you guys and what you've been able to build there. So it's been a pleasure to work with you. And when I get calls from your clients, they're always great people. So.
Yeah. Thank you. One piece of advice I give to advisors too is something that I've just started to do recently is I want to make sure every one of my clients has my cell phone number. Okay. I want them to be able to reach out to me 24/7. Okay. And the way that I've been making sure that they have me in their contacts is, and I never really did this before. I always thought it was kind of hokey, but I'm wishing them a happy birthday. I get on my cell phone. I text them and I say, I just wanted to reach out to you today because I want to make sure that you have my cell phone number in your contacts. And I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Enjoy the day. Thanks, Reed. They don't know the cell phone number when it pops up. They probably don't know it's me.
Right.
But, I think that's important too. And I tell them, I'm available 24/7, 7 days a week. And that's basically what we're working, in and out with these iPhones.
Yeah, no, I've seen your communications and some of the other team members at Bleakly that when they send out, and they're always to your point, everyone provides their cell and is available to your clients, 20 around the clock pretty much. So it's a nice service you provide there. So, yeah. Just we see a lot of just on the internet and other places advertisements now for these kind of these technology-based, call it like Robo Advisor. And I guess I'm curious, obviously my perspective, a computer robot can't provide, the level of service that you'd get from a firm like a Bleakly. But I guess if you could talk a little bit about that, and are there any concerns that, are you seeing any kind of market share kind of moving in that direction, or what are your thoughts there?
Well, we definitely have addressed this, but let's say you do run into that person, okay, who would benefit from the Robo model, okay. We have that. We've developed it here, so we have the Bleakly Managed Asset Program, okay. That if it's the right opportunity and the right situation, and that person should be in that type of Robo plan after we discuss everything, and we said, well, that might be the best thing for you, right? It's low cost, it's easy, it automatically rebalances for you, it's going to keep you on track, you're going to be in ETFs, exchange traded funds, low cost, good, let's do it, okay? And we have you. Now, if I've got somebody who's worth millions of dollars and has estate tax problems and so forth, that's not going to be the solution for that person. Okay, but who might that be the solution for? That guy's child. And I want to meet every one of my clients' kids. Okay, and believe me, most in the 22, 23 years old, there's not a whole lot there for us. Okay, but if I can have conversations with them about robo investing or the Bleakly Managed Asset Program, would that make sense for you? Well, yeah, okay. And then we start talking about their benefits at work and their 401k plans and making sure they have the right disability insurance and life insurance and so forth and so on. And now we start a relationship with them, okay? That works for us, and it works for our clients, and they appreciate that. I was on a call yesterday. Client says, hey, Reed, I know you've been taking care of my girls. Thank you so much, appreciate it. And I've it's a team. Right. So I've got, it's not just me, the 58-year-old guy doing it. It's Justin Popolowski working with me, who's my partner here too. He's 40. He's got 3 kids. It's my son who's 2 years out of college. He understands this stuff. He can work with these younger kids, and it's a win-win for everybody. And obviously, from here, if something ever does happen to my clients, okay, we want to know the whole family. I don't want a phone call, from the son saying, unfortunately, my parents, my mom, my dad passed away, and I don't know that guy from a hole in the wall. Okay, I want to have a relationship with them, and it's not about me going and getting another great client. Okay, it's about building a relationship, and that's how I started my business anyway. I started with, if you could fog a mirror, you were going to be mine. Okay, that's what we said back then. And then the hope was you do grow and develop and become successful, and there are lots of areas that we can help you with. And that has been our investment philosophy, or our model, I should say, for the last 36 years.
Oh, that's great, and that clearly has been successful for you. So it's worked out. You started smaller, obviously, when you first got it going, and it's developed to a magnificent business that you have there. So that's great. What do you see as kind of the next, I guess, on the horizon here, next 3 to 5 years? Some of the big challenges. Either from an advisor perspective and or just a consumer, investor perspective in the next 3 to 5 years is not looking for, specific investment advice necessarily, just kind of general concepts.
The challenges for our business, certainly there's lots of them. And we clearly have thought about this, and our conclusion was, you've got to provide more services. If you're going to charge an asset advisory fee, okay, and there is a little bit of fee compression going on, and everyone talks about that, I get it. But if you're going to do that for your clients, you need to justify that, and you need to provide other services. And I think that's where we're ahead of the curve right now. We see that coming. We're already looking out on this. And that's why, we've hired the CIO, the estate tax attorney, the CPA, the Medicare specialist, the life coach. How many guys have a life coach? And I tell you, I've been great with some of my clients. You live through a lot of 36 years. People die, unfortunately, and they're left alone. They need to talk to somebody. Their kids might have issues. They need to talk to somebody. Should I retire? That's a big issue for a lot of people. Hey, talk to Marlene. She's our life coach. Bounce some things off of her. And the feedback I get, from that is just great. Justin, just like when I give people to you, whether you work with them or not, and it's, who knows, 50-50, I don't know what the ratio is, but I always get great feedback. So I think, the key is you want to kind of get ahead of things right now, and you've got to be able to have a firm that can provide all these services, that I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Is Marlene an actual employee of Bleakly, or she is? Wow, that's phenomenal.
A full-time employee.
Great.
And not only, does she handle all of our clients here, but she handles 140 employees. That's the other thing that she does a great job with. She'll walk around the office every day. How you doing? How you feeling? How's your practice? How's your team? What's new? What's different? And, and then she'll put together events, like a kickball game, a picnic, the Bleakly whatever outing, Super Bowl party, big grill outside and everything else. So she's really created a great atmosphere here at Bleakly, just internally.
It's a great service
for our clients. So
you think about the last 12 months and kind of the mental health stuff, right? With everything that's going on, and to have a service like that and an asset, like a resource like that on your team,
right?
It's just that's a huge value add. So that's neat. Just, I guess, one more question kind of about your experience as a financial advisor. Do you have a particular case or a story or situation that was kind of most memorable or most impactful, where you really helped somebody and it tugged at your heartstrings a little bit as far as how you were able to help them?
Yeah. So this one tugs at my heartstrings every day. It's one that you just kind of remember forever. And I remember when I was young in the business, as in the 90s, as I said, you fog a mirror, you're going to be my client. Okay. So in the mid 90s, I'm out at night working with a family, husband, wife, 3 kids. And there's really not much there. But what I do realize quickly is that this family, this guy, the breadwinner, does not have enough life insurance. So I convinced this guy, after many meetings, that he needs to buy life insurance. I also realized that he was pretty frugal. Okay, so we're just going to buy some term life insurance, low cost term life insurance, and get it on the books. And that was that. So unfortunately, then I get a phone call in September 2001 letting me know that Bob did not make it out of the towers. And first, my heart just drops. I'm in shock. And then the second thing I said is, holy crap, how much life insurance did we sell Bob? And because you don't know, I can't tell you how much each of my 300 plus clients have in life insurance. I don't know. If you ask me right off the top of my head, I got to go look.
Sure. What
I do know is they all have the proper amount. And fortunately, he did, and his family was taken care of. And that's, one of the stories that, just hits home. And I'm glad I was, persistent, because this is a business that you do need to make your clients, as well as your prospects, a little bit uncomfortable. If you're not making your clients a little bit uncomfortable and having uncomfortable conversations with them, you are not doing the right job. And fortunately, I was able to do the right job for him and his family. And to this day, they are taken care of.
That's a great story. It's we especially, you mentioned 9/11. I mean, even in the last 12 months, I mean, that whole life insurance concept, I think a lot of people kind of keep putting it off out there, and they think, oh, I don't need that. And you mentioned term. I mean, if you're frugal or if you just want a high benefit amount life insurance policy, they're very inexpensive to get some term, and I don't think people realize that.
Right.
And in that situation, I'm sure the benefit he got was significantly more than the premium he paid over that 10-year period or so that he had the policy. And most importantly, like you said, his family, at least for a period of time, had a nice cushion there to kind of not have to think about the financial piece, while they grieve and get through the other, personal issues they had to get through. So that's glad you're able to help that, that individual,
yep.
So, and his family. So, all right. Well, just to kind of wrap it up here, I want to thank, Reed Finney again for joining us from Bleakly. And, I'll echo what I said earlier about Bleakly being a great firm. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, we deal with all your clients from a Medicare perspective. And like I said, every time they give us a call, everyone is incredibly, they're a friend. They truly think that, and they are a friend of Bleakley's, advisor, whether it's Reed or other advisors at Bleakly. And that's nice to hear. I think there's an aura out there for certain advisors. I think some of the bigger name firms where it's not that close of a relationship. And at Bleakly, it's certainly still that kind of family feel. And we're going to put your contact information below the video as well. Bleakly's contact info and Reed specifically for folks that are looking for, financial planning help and advice and all those other services that Reed mentioned, which is just a phenomenal value add. So if you want to reach out to them, we'll put their info below the video. We'll have our contact info there as well. So if you're looking for Medicare planning advice, you can certainly reach out to us directly, and we're happy to help you. So Reed, I want to thank you again for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Cheers, and have a great rest of your day.
Cheers.
All right, buddy. Take care.